lesson 7.2, less than. Okay, but before we start on less than, I want us to review what greater than was. Yesterday we learned about greater than. Okay, greater than is talking about the bigger number, right? If you're looking at two numbers, which one is the bigger number? So I have these two numbers, 30 and 28. Okay, remember the first rule, right? The first step you need to do is always look at the tens place. Okay, so in the number 30, there are 3 tens. In the number 28, there are 2 tens. Okay, now there are a different amount of tens, so do I need to look at the ones place? No, right? You only look at the ones place if the tens were the same. Okay, so now we look at the tens, right? 3 tens is bigger than 2 tens. So that means 30 is greater than 28. Okay, and the symbol we use, we're going to have the open side. I call this the alligator mouth, right? The open side towards the 30. Okay, and that shows 30 is greater than 28. So, is greater than 28. So this symbol means these words, okay? Is greater than. You have the big open side, the open alligator mouth towards the greater number, okay? But today we are focusing on less than. Less than refers to the smaller number, right? Which one has a less amount, a smaller amount? So we're going to use those same numbers, 28 and 30. And just like greater than, you do it the same way, right? You're going to look at the tens place first. We always start with the tens place. So in 28, there are 2 tens. In 30, there are 3 tens, right? So I can see that they have different amount of tens, so I don't even need to look at the ones place, right? 2 tens is smaller than 3 tens, so that means 28 is less than. Now when we write the symbol, we're going to make sure the closed side, the pointy side, is towards the 28, and the open alligator mouth is towards the 30. Okay, so what this says is 28 is less than 30. Okay, so this symbol, right, with the closed side towards that number says is less than. Okay, that is what that means. Okay, and that's what we're going to be focusing on today. Now I'm going to do one more example up here. Okay, now what do we do if they have the same amount of tens, right? This picture shows 1 10, this picture shows 1 10. So now we need to look at the ones place, okay, and decide which one is less than. So in 16, there are 6 ones, 5, 6. In 19, there are 9 ones. Okay, there's 9. Okay, so now looking at this, which one has a smaller amount of ones? 16, right? So altogether, this would be the smaller number, the less than number. Okay, yes, they have the same amount of tens, but then you look at the ones and you see that 16 only has 6 ones and 19 has 9 ones. So that means 16 is less than. And when we write the symbol, we write the closed side towards the 16 and the open side towards the 19. And this says 16 is less than 19. Okay, we are now going to do some problems from our lesson 7.2 in our Go Math book, starting on page 293. Okay, we're going to do a few problems together, and then you will complete the rest on your own. Okay, we're going to start on page 293. Okay, and we are going to be making both the numbers 22 and 28 to see which number is less than. Okay, I'm going to be using my tens and ones, and I do suggest you using yours as well to help you compare the numbers. Okay, so first 22 has 2 tens and 2 ones. Then we do 28 has 2 tens and 8 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? Alright, so we have 22 and 28. Okay, which number is less than? Well, we always start by looking at the tens. Okay, but they both have 2 tens, right? They have the same amount of tens, so that can't help us. So now we got to move on to the ones. Well, 22 has 2 ones, and 28 has 8 ones. So which number has the less amount of ones? 22, right? Because it only has 2 ones. So that means 22 is less than 28. Remember, this is the less than symbol. Okay, so now on your paper, you're going to draw out your numbers. So 22 had 2 tens and 2 ones. 28 also had 2 tens, but it had 8 ones. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and then looking at the numbers, you can see, well, they have the same amount of tens, but in their ones, the 22 has less amount of ones. So that means 22 is less than 28. All right, now let's turn to page 294, and we're going to go over the model and draw section. Compare numbers to find which is less. And when you do, you want to ask the question, how do you know which number is less? Okay, we can simply look at a number and be like, oh, yeah, of course, 43 is less than 49. But you need to know why, right? Or how. How is it less than 49? Well, we can answer that question by looking at the picture. So in 43, there are 4 tens, right? In 49, there are 4 tens. So you have the same amount of tens. But now we look at the ones. So 43 has 3 ones, and 49 has 9 ones. So that tells us 43 is less than 49. And then you write the same thing with the symbol, right? 43 is less than 49. The less than symbol should have the pointed side, the close side, towards the smaller number. Okay, number 1 is done for us. I'm just going to walk us through it. Okay, so it says circle the number that is less. So 39 and 36. Well, if we look at the numbers, we can see they both have the same amount of tens, right? They have 3 tens. But 36 only has 6 ones, and 39 has 9 ones. So that means 36 is less. Okay, did the tens or the ones help you decide? Well, the tens were the same, so that didn't help us. We had to look at the ones place. So the ones helped us decide. Okay, now we write out the numbers. So we would write 36 is less than 39. 36 is less than 39. So that is what you're going to do for the rest of these problems. Let's do number 2 together, okay? And I'm going to make both of these numbers, 80 and 94, using my tens and ones. Okay, so my first number is 80, and then I have 94. So let's make 80. 80 has how many tens? 8 tens, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, that shows 80 because there's 0 ones. There's no ones. Okay, now let's make 94. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 4 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now when I look at these two numbers, the first step, look at the tens place. Well, over here in 80, I know there's 8 tens, okay? And in 94, there are 9 tens. That already tells me 80 is going to be less than 94, because 8 tens equals 80, 9 tens equals 90. So 80 is less than 90. So we know 80 is going to be less than 94, right? We don't even need to look at the ones place, because you always start with the tens. And if the tens are different, that will help you decide, right, which number is less than. Okay, so 80 is less than 94. Okay, so on your chart, to fill it out, right, 80 will be the one that you circle because it's less than 94, okay? And we know this because of the tens place, right? In 80, there's only 8 tens. In 94, there's 9 tens. So 80 has less tens. So the tens are what helped us decide. Then we write out our numbers. 80 is less than 94. And then you write it with the symbol. 80 is less than 94. Okay, and that is how you're going to complete number 3. And then you'll go on to page 295. Okay, now we're going to do number 7 together. Okay, so the numbers are 23 and 32. Okay, to make 23, we need 2 tens and 3 ones. For 32, we need 3 tens and 2 ones. Now, I know these numbers look very similar, okay, but they're not the same, right? 23 has 2 tens and 3 ones. 32 has 3 tens and 2 ones. So they are different, okay? Now, we always start by looking at the tens place. Are the tens place different? They are, right? 23 has 2 tens, 32 has 3 tens. So that means 23 must be less than. It's a smaller amount because of the tens. Right? 2 tens is less than 3 tens. So 23 is less than 32 because of the tens. All right, now we're going to fill out a chart. So 23 is less than. Did the tens or ones help us decide? The tens helped us decide. Then we write our numbers. 23 is less than 32. 23 is less than 32. Okay? And as I mentioned, you're going to complete the rest of these problems on your own. You're going to be doing the same thing, right? Looking at both numbers, circling the number that is less than, and then answering the question, did the tens or the ones help you decide which number was less than? And then you're going to write your numbers where they belong. Okay? All right, we're going to turn to page 296 to finish up our lesson. Okay, now these are word problems. Now for number 9, I think you'll be able to do it on your own, but I am just going to read over it and kind of help explain it. Nan makes the number 46. Marty makes a number that is less than 46. What could be a number Marty makes? So, Nan made 46. Marty can make any number that is less than 46, right? So you can choose any number as long as it's less than 46. Okay, so that could be a lot of different numbers, right? But make sure it's less than 46. So you can come up with your own number for number 9. All right, we're going to move to number 10. Jack makes the number 92. Kit makes a number that has fewer ones than 92. What could be a number Kit makes? Now, it sounds very similar to number 9, but there's a difference. Number 10 gives us more detail, okay? It doesn't just tell us the number is less than 92. It says that it has fewer ones than 92, okay? Ones only, right? So that means it has the same amount of tens, right? It's going to have 9 tens, but it must have fewer ones. So 92, and I'm just going to do a little drawing over here on the side, but you can use your tens and ones to help you. So I'm going to do 9 tens, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 tens, and then 2 ones. Okay, I need to make a number that has fewer ones. It's going to have the same amount of tens, but fewer ones. What is fewer than 2? Only 1, right? So if I were to take one of those out, right, what number do I have? I have 9 tens and 1 1. That would be 91. 91 has fewer ones, right? It has 1 more fewer than 92. It has the same amount of tens, right? But it has 1 fewer 1. Okay? Now, some of you may say, well, what about 90? 90 could have worked because, you know, it is fewer than 92 and it has the same amount of tens, but it says fewer ones. 90 doesn't have any ones, right? It has 0 ones. So if it says fewer ones, it's still going to have a 1, but it's just going to be less than 92. So that only leaves 91 as the answer. Okay, for number 11, I'm just going to explain what you need to do. It says write a number that is less than 67. Okay, so you are going to, you can either just write the number or you can do a quick draw of it in the space of any number that's less than 67. But then on the line down here, you need to explain how do you know your number is less than 67? Okay, did you look at the tens place and make sure that it had less tens? Or did you pick a number in the 60s but it had less ones? Okay, so that's what you would write here. So in the box, you're going to write the number and draw your picture. And then on the line, right, you can explain, right, did you use the tens to make the number less, or did you use the ones to make the number less? Okay, and that is how you'll do number 11. So again, make sure you complete all of the problems that we didn't do on your own. And as always, let me know if you have any questions. And hope you have a great day. Bye.